another chapter from Night to Awakening Saga. I am here with...
Dragon Lover 95 here, everybody. Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. This is Kat coming at you.
And I'm Arthur. Any more donuts?
What? Jonesy.
And who's this lovely gentleman over here?
Morning. Tom of the Wolf Dog here.
Yes.
Anyways,
This is going to be interesting.
Yep. Anyways, who's gonna read first?
You said I could.
Oh yeah. Well, go ahead.
Well,
Use
I
the
will do my
mic.
best to catch. And, those who aren't gonna be reading and such, it'd be best to mute just in case.
Yeah, probably. And everyone, remember your lines. Or, not lines, but people.
Remember which parts you are.
I'm left part.
Okay, let's go.
For this role, I am gonna be not only narrator, but I'm also gonna be Helen.
Yep, we got it. Ready to go.
Question: is Rialis somewhere in this?
Towards the end. But that's all we can say.
All right.
Yeah.
Night's Awakening, Chapter 11. Truth known by the wrong side. Day turned to night. Night turned to day. Until a little over a week passed. Soon, the morning of the field trip arrived.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
I'm
Go,
sorry.
It's okay.
I just said remember whose parts you have.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Take a breath. We'll try it again.
Oh, and when Rialis part
Breathe
does
in.
come up, someone needs to take over as narrator.
Yeah, yep.
We kind of have that.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Ree.
Okay.
Read
Okay. I did read it. Damn, you guys went. Okay.
You know what?
Ah!
Give me the mic. I'll take the narrator role.
Oh,
Yells the
No,
head teacher.
we're fine. We didn't know that she was actually saying the teacher line. So,
Yeah.
okay, teacher said okay, as Ree said, and then from
Right.
there.
This is
All right.
gonna be funny.
yelled the head teacher, calling all the lucky students to order.
We are almost ready to depart. Please get in line for the bus in order by your last name. Everyone, we need to keep track of who's here, so that we don't leave anyone at the carnival by accident. You may not mind that, but dealing with your parents would be a different circus.
Yep, circus.
Circus.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No problem.
All together.
All-
All together.
Together.
Yep, good job.
that got some laughs and giggles from the listening students, along with a few chaperones. The teacher continued.
Also, please do not try to switch buses just to sit by a friend. A few minutes away from your buddies will not hurt you, especially when you will have plenty of time to have fun together once we begin.
We'll fix that.
Ouch.
Lucky I
Okay.
stopped myself.
Good.
Here, I'll read that little part. I'll kind of fix that.
Maybe sometimes pause if something comes up.
Yeah.
No, let's just keep going because it's funny.
Okay.
A few minutes
Okay.
away from your buddies will not hurt you, especially when you have plenty of time to have fun together once you have been accounted for and have gotten on your designated bus. Ree, take over.
You may sit wherever you like. Are there any questions?
Dinella watched the commotion from a school window nearby. Since seeing the ghost of his quarry, He had searched around with great
Fervor.
staying a safe distance away from the humans. After his rather embarrassing blunders, to his frustration, he was no closer to finding Knight now than he was a week ago. But today was a different story. During the week, the jester had overheard the kids talking about this field trip, being curious about the new subject. And with no luck in his mission for the time being, he decided to tag along and observe.
Perhaps some time away from the mission will do me some good.
So I guess in the waking world he talks normally, but in the dream world he has an echo?
Wait.
Your voice wasn't on.
I think
I have the voice changer on.
But we didn't hear it!
Give us a minute,
on.
people. We're back. Okay, Diana, take away.
Perhaps time away from the mission will do me some good.
August, Will, and Helen each went to their assigned buses. To their delight, the two boys were already able to sit together in one of them, as August's last name was still Smith. August could barely contain his excitement.
I just can't wait. I'm going on the roller coaster and the scramble and get cotton candy and play all the games and
The boy went on and on about what he wanted to do, particularly vibrating in his chair. Will just sat next to him, smiling as he listened to his friend ramble like a kid sugar high on Christmas. Dinella stayed by the reflection of Helen in another bus. August's ramble started to annoy him. The glass window next to August cracked as Dinella shoved its corresponding crystal away from himself as in the night dimension. Startled, August stopped talking, wondering about the source of the noise. He quickly forgot about it, his mind more preoccupied with their destination, and
Drawing
went
butterflies.
to draw in his notebook.
drawing butterflies.
Dinella sighed of relief.
At
What?
least he shut up. Now to anchor myself in this reflection.
Using his powers, he tethered himself to the reflection surface, compromised into Helen's bus window once the bus started moving. He would ride with it. The jester then held his hands in a position that one would take when about to play a piano, and began practicing upon an invisible instrument. The sound similar to a virginal. His hands moved gracefully around himself as he played, the jester trying to pass the time by doing something progressive. Ads! Seriously, an ad just popped up.
Okay, what happened?
An ad
just
just popped up on
popped
her
up.
computer.
Ah!
I'll take over for a bit.
Wow. I'll
Almost.
take
Okay.
over.
That,
Or, wait, who wants to take over?
let her.
It was me, but Cat can take over.
Go ahead. It's not even that long anyways.
No,
Oh.
Ash has passed the buck over to you, Ray. So, here, take the mic.
And here you go, Cat.
Ah, sweet. Okay. I have the power. Almost as if on cue, the caravan of buses drove off. Besides a mysterious sound of faint music, the ride was uneventful, though a few of the bus drivers made note to have their radios checked. After a short drive across town, the large group of school buses arrived at the colorful carnival.
Here we are!
Hollered August after leaping out of the bus, followed by Will. Helen caught up to them after leaving her own bus. Once all the students had filed out their buses, the head teacher spoke up to get everyone's attention.
World.
I'm sorry. Attention students, I know you all are excited, but please listen closely. You need to buddy up in groups at least 3 during your visit, and stay with your group at all times. The school is prohibited.
Providing
Providing everyone $20 to spend as they wish while here. If you happen to get lost, ask for help from any of the our
chaperones.
chaperones who
I'm
are
not sure if you're actually a wolf or acting like a hyena right now.
who are worn red vest.
Meanwhile, the students are wondering why, if the teacher has gotten high on the bus.
I was smoking the good stuff. Okay. Worn red vest.
Is everything alright? Should I come in here to be?
Any of the
Perhaps I
Okay,
should
okay.
take over since I don't really have anything to do here. But then
Chaperones,
again,
chaperones.
chaperones who are worn red vests, or any of the employees here. Yes, you may have what?
Chaperone.
A chaperone with your group also.
Okay, Wolf, I'm letting you take over until Mr. L. So,
oh, okie dokie.
It's
You mean the
Mr.
mic?
L.
Staring through the reflection of the bus window, Dianella looked upon the carnival with awe.
What a marvelous place.
He looked down to see that the kids were getting into their groups. He chuckled.
Sorry, Teach, but I'm bending your rules.
Taking the hands of the two dreamers, Dianella knew August dragged his two friends through the carnival entrance.
Come on! Cotton candy false!
Dianella shadowed them from the night dimension, watching through various reflective objects along the way, catching up to them at the candy wagon.
Can we have 3 cotton candies?
Here's a little reference here.
August asked the worker in charge of the machine, looking at the person's name tag.
Please, Lancel?
someone else has to narrate for both of us.
Okay.
Fine. Who wants the mic?
I can work it. I can work it.
Yeah.
The worker looked lethargic as they glanced at the teens, despite having a rather exotic style of black hair and particularly wading through airborne sugar.
Yeah. Coming right up.
The worker poured colored sugar out of a carton into the center of the machine while giving a soft sigh. You made him sound like Squidward.
I don't even know what Squidward sounds like.
Now you guys are sounding like villagers.
Okay.
Oh, great. Someone's training Minecraft again.
Oops, sorry. I'll
Can
just
you
put away
get
the
back?
game.
Can you get back? Because everyone thinks that I would take over, when in actuality, it seems you guys are doing that for yourselves.
Cotton candy.
Thanks, Riala.
Dianella.
Dinella watched in fascination as the cotton candy seemed to appear from nowhere inside the spinner. The cotton candy man spun a stick around and around within the machine while the cotton candy collected on the stick, soon becoming a large weight of fluff. The worker lifted the trade out before it got too big and proceeded to make 2 more after handing the first to August.
Yeah.
How does he do that?
Darnella wondered to himself, having never seen such a thing before.
Here you go. 3 cotton candies.
The worker announced in a tired voice after handing them their treats. While the candy maker was doing this, Dinella reached through the shined surface of the cotton candy machine and snatched a strand of the candy to inspect, holding it up to his glowing eyes. The jester scanned it.
A molecular compound composed of 12 atoms of carbon, 22 atoms of hydrogen, and 11 atoms of oxygen, a combination of fructose and glucose, otherwise known as a carbohydrate known as sucrose. Odd. What is the point of this stuff?
You never thought you would get that kind of logic. He turned his hand to let it drop, but the candy stuck to his fingers.
Huh?
He tried to shake it off, which didn't work.
What the?
Say it off.
Before the 3 teens left, Helen turned back to the workers. Thank you for making our candy, Lance, sir. I hope your day gets better. The candy maker blinked and then gave a small smile, nodding.
You're welcome, young lady.
Helen smiled, then walked off to join her friends. Meanwhile, Dinella shook his arm, trying to get the sticky substance off. But as hard as he tried, that little bit of sugar sweetness just held fast on his hand.
Come on.
The jester soon gave up and went back to watching the teens.
Might as well watch them get this stuff stuck on their hands.
He said himself with a chuckling slightly at the thought. To his surprise, the 3 mostly got it on their faces, but as they bit off parts of the cotton candy waves from the stick, and even if they got some on their hands, they just ate it off without missing a beat. Dinella blinked, watching them eat the candy, then looked at the stand in his hand, feeling a strange sense of sadness at being unable to consume the substance himself, even if to understand why they seemed to like it so much.
Humans.
He continued to follow them, starting to wonder if this was such a good idea. Then he noticed the roller coaster close by.
What an interesting contraption.
Okay, so where do we go first?
Asked Will while the 3 friends walked past some of the rides and attractions.
Oh!
August exclaimed, pointing at the roller coaster that Dinella spotted.
Let's go on that one! Okay, let me try again. Let's go on that one.
Helen took a look at the sign for the ride. The Wizard. Well, why not? Dinella grinned, happily following the humans to the ride, having a great interest in the roller coaster. At least the ride basically won't have the creepy face.
Okay, we got that operator. Does Duck want to read those 2 lines for the operator? Of the ride?
Sure. What does he sound like?
Oh, it's just
Whatever you want. It's a random person.
The 3 friends
Like,
quickly
you're the
got
one
Hey, I've got one in mind.
Okay.
Alright. The 3 friends quickly got into the line for it.
Wait, who's... Oh, it's Will,
Will.
sorry. It's lucky we picked this ride first. The line is really short right now. In the afternoon, it'll definitely be longer packed here from here to the entrance.
Will observed with a smile. He, Helen, and August eagerly waited their turn.
Next rider to the front.
Announced the operator of the ride. All 3 hurried to take their seats After the operator checked the harnesses and made sure everyone was buckled in and ready to go, the ride started, moving along the tracks to its first big climb. Will, Helen, and August hooped and hollered in adrenaline-fueled delight as the coaster zoomed down the first drop, carrying them swiftly along the track, up and down, loop-de-loop, dives, and even upsy-downs. As they went through one of the tunnels, Will caught a glimpse of a bright blue light that seemed to emanate from the tunnel walls, which had been treated with metal flake and polished to shine to give the illusion of magic. Dianella, unaware, was racing the coaster for fun within the night dimension, trying to relax and unwind, even for a moment, from the stress of his mission. Will didn't think about the strange light too much, accepting it as just another part of this awesome ride themed after magical fantasies. All too soon for them, as it would be for anyone who loves roller coaster, the ride ended.
Oh, come on! She likes roller coasters, not me.
You bet I do.
Okay, August, where to now?
Asked Helen. August shrugged. What rides would either of you want to try? Gotta let you have a tone, otherwise it won't be fun.
You know, I
Will
give
and
me
Helen
the mic. I'll
both
take the narrator.
Alright.
Somebody's
Will and Helen both nodded. Yes?
I'm hearing an echo.
Echo.
I'm not hearing
Echo.
one.
For you.
I'm hearing it on
That's
my
weird.
side. Give me a minute, people. Sorry,
Here
everybody.
comes my part next.
Sorry, everybody. Take it away.
Okay. Will and Helen both nodded in agreement and thought of what to do next while wandering around, looking at the other rides and games.
Hey! Come on, one and all!
Another employee of the carnival hopped around with enthusiasm while calling out two guests wearing a white suit with red trim.
A wonderland of glass, a marvelous fun house of mirrors.
A wonderland of grass? Anyway.
Your part, yes.
Hi,
I've got
Balance.
to mute myself when saying that.
No worries, guests of the park.
Spotting August, Will, with a capital I, and Helen, the employee waved a flamboyant hand, gesturing to them.
Will you enter the strange world of mirrors? Well, what wonders will you see? Can you make it through?
Helen turned to the boys.
That
To the
sounds like
two boys.
fun. Let's go inside. Vacuum! I'm
August
sorry, guys.
grinned.
There's a vacuum going on outside. I'm not sure if you can hear it.
Let's just keep going.
Okay.
Shall I continue?
Yes.
Yes.
August grinned.
I agree. Helen, a great second choice. Right, Will?
I always wanted to see one of these, so count me in.
Will said stone. There. Will said with a nod.
The
rather eccentric employee seemed to smile wider in glee.
Excellent. Excellent, I say. Come in, my friends, and be amazed.
Dianella looked upon the funhouse through the reflection of crystals near Helen's glass castle. Apparently, the castle was in the same place as the funhouse Hall of Mirrors,
How original.
uttered the jester sarcastically. He followed the three humans as they quickly went inside, floating into the corresponding glass castle himself to keep up with them. After the three traversed through a rather confusing maze of mirrors, they came to a large, colourful chamber filled with various warped mirrors.
Hey, Helen, look at us!
Will called to her. When she turned to look, she found August and Will making funny faces at themselves in a warped mirror that made...
You.
What?
We're making the
I
sounds
don't know,
of
I
funny
got
faces.
interrupted
Bleh.
by a special broadcast.
Okay, sorry.
A warped mirror that made it appear as if they were fat and squished, which they will be in a moment.
Oh, you two. What am I going to do with you goofballs?
She giggled at their funny antics. Dianella peered through the many reflections within the palace to see what the three humans were doing, soon coming to a stop on the other side of the mirror that August and Will were standing in front of. His eyes suddenly widened, the jester floating back in surprise. Next to Will was...
Knights.
Dianella gasped out. The purple jester was standing right next to Will, making funny faces at the mirror alongside the teenager, while Helen giggled at the sight from behind them both.
See, Helen? Now I look like a squash.
He didn't know why, but seeing knights, seeing them making faces and laughing, Dianella's eyes slowly turned red with rage, glowing so bright that they became visible in the real world.
Tricked me again. He had him with him this whole entire time.
Because of this growing anger, cracks started to form at the edge of the mirror in both worlds. This made Knights hop back in surprise.
Hey!
Will and Helen blinked at the now cracked mirror. Helen noticed the red eyes.
What the?
The mirror suddenly shattered, exploding outwards as Dianella surged through its now destroyed reflection. In his red-eyed rage, the metal jester grabbed who he now knew was Knights, pinning August to the wall behind him.
Now I got you. You can't hide from me any longer.
August cried out in fear, struggling in Dianella's grip.
Help! Will! Helen!
Both teams sprang into action, racing forward to help their friend. Helen grabbed August's arms, jerking him out of Dianella's grip after Will rammed into him, his shoulder knocking him off balance.
Leave alone, you monster!
You cut out for a bit on my side. You
Yeah,
leave
my mute
Say that
button.
line
alone,
again.
you monster.
I hit my mute button.
You cut out
You
just
hit
as
him.
I said
Realize
August.
Sorry, I didn't realize I hit my mute
Here.
button and immediately flicked it back on. Leave August alone, you monster!
That's better.
Shouted Will. Dianella floated back, quickly recovering. He bared his metallic clawed hands.
I'd rather not have to resort to using deadly force. So give him to me, or I will have no choice but to do so.
His eyes narrowed.
Do not test me, humans.
Will bravely stood in front of his friends in a defensive stance, even with the threat.
Helen, you two get out of here now. Go to one of the chaperones. I'll cover you. Don't even argue.
Helen hesitated, then nodded.
Come on, August.
She took August's wrist, pulling him after her, as both raced out of the funhouse the way they came in. Seeing his target escape, Dianella darted forward. When Will tried to stop him, he only succeeded in getting knocked back by Dianella's momentum, falling into a mirror and cracking it on impact. Dianella continued on after Helen and August through the reflective surfaces leading outside.
Slow down, Helen. I can't run that fast.
Helen had to ignore August's comments, a bit preoccupied with getting them both to safety after somehow getting lost. Upon finding an exit, the teenager realized that they had taken a wrong turn in the maze, ending up on the far side of the funhouse, behind the large tents and fenced-off areas for the mechanized rides. All the adults, employees, and guests were on the other side. She didn't understand who or what, or even why that guy decided to go after her friend. But she did know, right now, that getting away was the only option, and she would not let that thing take August without a fight. Can she even fight? I don't know. Between the two tents, Dianella suddenly appeared in front of them, as if from nowhere, his expression serious. Red gazed fixed upon them.
Going somewhere?
Yeah, anywhere but here.
Helen retorted, bolting back down the way they came. Dianella easily flew past them, blocking the path again. He grabbed August's arm in an iron grip.
Resistance is futile, fugitive.
Unbeknownst to anyone, a fragment of broken glass had cut an electrical wire in the funhouse. I wonder what that wire was connected to. The damaged cord sparked with electricity.
Probably the lights.
That makes sense. Seeing fear in August's eyes, Dianella hesitated. Was this supposed to be a heartless criminal?
Also, vacuum stop finally.
Okay, that's good.
Blue. Guys, can you stop that vacuum cleaning? We're trying to voice act over here.
I'm not even doing anything.
Okay, let's continue. Dianella mentally shook off the doubts in his head. Excuse me. Remembering the apple's warning of the deception. I did not need to belch.
Okay, calm down.
Cut.
It's okay.
Let's try that again.
Alright, I'll stop drinking. Dianella mentally shook off the doubts in his head, remembering Riala's warning about their deception.
The ninth dimension will soon be rid of your evil and trickery.
Fabric and wood decorations near the sparking wire caught aflame. Smoke soon began to rise from the funhouse.
I don't know what you're talking about. Please let me go.
August pleaded, frozen with fear under the floating being's glowing eyes. Dianella forced himself away from Helen, shoving the girl away when she tried to help August.
You're lying! Your humans have done a good job of keeping you from me. But now I can finally bring you to justice, not...
A scream interrupted him, along with the commotion of a gathering crowd around the now burning funhouse. A kid's still in there?
Where's the
Where's
fire
the fire
department?
department?
Someone took my wallet!
My cabbages!
Where's my beard?
Oh boy.
Okay,
You're not even in this
Keep going. Keep going.
I didn't realize it took a detour to Loopy Land. Anyway, continue? I'll take that as a yes.
Okay.
Helen stared at the building, getting a bad feeling.
Wait, I think it's
Her eyes widened.
Will. Will's still in there.
We have to get him out of there!
August shouted, no longer paralyzed with fear as he tried to free his arm.
We had to help!
Dianella stiffened, his red eyes becoming blue once more.
What? You'll burn alive in there.
August turned back to the strange being that held him. His expression held many emotions, worry, fear, but finally settled on determination and resolution.
Please, help us!
He uttered, looking Dianella in the eyes.
I'll go with you. Just please, help Will. Please, that's all I ask for, please!
Helan looked back at August in shock. Dianella met his gaze, no expression whatsoever upon his metal face, though worry loomed in the back of his mind.
And how do I know that she won't run away?
August shook his head.
You don't, but just have to trust me, please. Save Will, bring him back here alive, and I will let you take me. I won't run away. I won't fight. I promise.
Dianella looked down in frustration, feeling strangely torn. But in a way, he somehow knew that August was telling the truth, and that was all the metal jester needed to decide what he was going to do. He let August go and turned to Helan, his demeanor different somehow.
Wait here where it's safe.
The jester levitated a bit higher, then shot like a rocket into the funhouse. The fire, as if aware, became more intense, erupting into an inferno. The surrounding bystanders had to get back because of the extreme heat. The workers of the carnival scrambled to clear the civilians, other tents, booths, and other items from the surrounding area to keep the fire from spreading until the fire department arrived.
I could take over.
August and Helan could only watch and wait, praying that Will could be rescued in time. Trapped inside the burning building, Will was desperately trying to find a way out, even as the heat and smoke stung its eyes. He coughed from the dense smoke so hard that his lungs hurt, trying to take in air to call out.
Ew. I must save my fanny pack!
He broke down, coughing. Through the bright flames, two glowing blue eyes gazed down upon him as the silhouette of the floating figure came closer. A hand appeared in front of Will.
Hurry! Take my hand!
The team looked up and took it without question.
Okay.
The surprisingly cold hand tightened around his, and Will then felt himself being pulled closer to the figure and picked up in his metallic arms. Looking up, he gasped in surprise to find that the figure was in fact Dianella. The strange being was currently looking around for any clear exit through the debris and flames of the collapsing building, keeping Will's face near one of the vents on his chest so he could breathe.
You're helping me.
Will coughed out. Dianella shifted his eyes towards Will, then back towards the creaking roof.
That won't hold for much longer.
The jester uttered, holding Will protectively as he floated around, searching for any escape routes that wouldn't endanger the much more vulnerable human. An intact mirror caught his eye.
That'll have to do. Hold on, Will.
The armored jester set a hand over Will's head to shield the teen, and raced into the mirror just as the roof collapsed. Outside, everyone looked on as the funhouse fell in on itself. Firefighters scrambled to put out the fire and search for anyone trapped inside the rubble. August hugged a shaking Helan.
Will's fine. He'll be alright. I know it.
Inside the quiet halls of Helan's palace of glass, Will was set down onto his feet by Dianella. The jester looked around, avoiding eye contact with the teen.
There should be a reflection near the other two humans, not far from here. Come.
Will slowly followed after the strange jester, not completely understanding what just happened.
Well, I'm not sure how you helped me, but thank you anyway.
Dianella finally looked back at him with a hit of annoyance.
Look, I know everything about the plans you and your human friends have for this night dimension. You can quit the charades now.
He averted his gaze.
I only saved you because...
The Sundari shook his head.
Never mind.
What are you talking about?
Will raised an eyebrow.
Stop playing dumb!
Dianella snapped at him, his eyes glowing brightly as he glared at Will.
Rihanna told me everything, outlaw.
Wait, you're working with the Nightmares?
Will came to his senses from whatever he had taken, blinked in shock at the metal being's
It's called
accusation.
smoke inhalation.
What if
Smoke inhalation.
What if somebody accidentally hides something inside the smoke?
Yes,
Okay.
Bobby hid some drugs or something, and we're making him high because, well, you know. Anyway, you were
Yes,
saying,
yes.
Will?
You don't understand. They're the evil ones, not us. They tricked you into helping them.
I have had enough of this nonsense. It may have worked for a while, but your commitment to your innocent role is becoming annoying.
Dianella's anger was beginning to show as his eyes turned red again, the mirrors around the two cracking from his power.
How do you know we're lying?
Will shot back, trying to remain brave in the face of this
Calls
unknown
back.
jester.
Have you ever thought that Rihanna and Wiseman were taking advantage of you?
Dianella shook his head. How dare this little human accuse one of his only friends of doing such a horrible thing?
Enough!
Okay.
He grabbed Will's arm in a vice-like grip
No.
and shot through the nearest reflection, which brought them to the front of the amusement park. He then roughly released Will, glaring down at him with narrowed red eyes.
Huh.
Will
know-
met his gaze, even though he felt afraid.
Look, I know you don't really know for sure, unless you find out for yourself. If you assume, just because of this bias,
Will stopped, seeing August and Helan running over to him.
so micro pause for.
Okay, pause, break.
Go.
Will, you're okay.
Helen quickly hugged him, cried in relief. Dianella turned to grab August, but froze upon seeing two adults running towards them. His eyes becoming blue once more. Fear got the better of him, and he fled back into the reflection before the adults got close enough to see him. the two adults, revealed to be firefighters, had rushed over upon spotting them from their truck. Seeing how Will was coughing and showing signs of being in a fire, one quickly gave Will oxygen, while the other started checking him over for injuries. Everyone was relieved that he made it out alive somehow, some calling it a miracle.
How'd you do it, kid?
Give him some room.
Wow, this kid's parents.
Drink some water. Steady now.
I wonder where Balin and Lance are. I can tell Balin is not going to be happy, guys.
I would assume they're probably helping on somewhere else in the park.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are employees.
Yes. The comments just kept coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, as the officials took over the situation. A bit later, the head teacher in charge of the field trip was notified of the situation, along with the Sharpons, who then gathered up all the students to make sure that everyone was accounted for. Because of the fire, the amusement park had to temporarily close for the day and remain closed until officials gave the all clear as an apology for the inconvenience. The carnival staff gave everyone free tickets each for the game prize they wanted when the carnival reopened. Lance, being one of the distributors, secretly gave Helen 2 tickets with a wink. That's nice of him.
Aww.
August's foster mother, Molly Daniels, drove over to bring August, Will, and Helen home, having been informed by the school of what happened. Could someone do Molly, please?
I'll take over. Oh my goodness, are you alright? When I heard what happened, I just had to race over. I was just so worried.
We're okay, Miss Daniels. Really? Wordings.
It's okay. It's okay.
Replied Helen while Molly hugged August close. Will got a little banged up, but everything turned out all right. It could have been a lot worse if August wasn't a quick thinker. A little while later, Mr. Edwards and Miss Sinclair, who had been enjoying their morning off, were informed by the school of what happened. Both were relieved to know that no one got hurt.
Alrighty. And then we could flip for Duck. Flip.
Flip.
Quack! 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 Quack!
Okay, who brought geese into the call?
That's a duck!
Yonk, yonk.
No, they sound
Look, if
different
I
though.
wanted geese sounds, I'd play the Untitled Goose Game. Go on.
Yonk.
Chew, scram, get lost. There's a seagull here. That's it. Jonesy, give me the bow.
Okay, here you go. Alrighty. Alright, so Duck, you're gonna read next. There is a
Sure.
section where I
Let
will
me just fire this
read.
arrow at someone. Here. Ping.
Okay. There is a spot shortly after where Duck's character pops up, so we can have, well, since Dinah is there, we can have Dragon read that part, or
Can I read?
Can read that part, just so that way he's not talking to him.
I read.
Yeah, if you want to, one, but not this part right here, just the part where, Duck's character's in there, so he's not talking to himself.
Okay.
Alright, so go ahead, Duck.
Whereabouts did we stop?
Within!
Within
got
the
it.
night dimension.
Okay, got it. Within the night dimension, Dianella leaned against a tree in a dream world resembling a beautiful valley, his mind filled with questions. But the biggest question on his mind scared him, rocked him at his core.
Which side am I on? Good or evil?
Was the human right? Could he have looked into things more before rushing off? Rihanna seemed like a sincere guy, and Dianella had never even told him what side he stood on. Had he never even met, let alone seen the black and red jester before that night? But those kids, why did they act that way? Why did Will try to reason with him? Give him advice? What was his motive? Then he put all the pieces together and it clicked in Dianella's head. Will had caught him off guard. The humans had used his honorable traits against him. What if Will had planned this so that Dianella couldn't capture August? It made sense in Dianella's mind. He had been tricked again.
No wonder Brielle and Lord Wiseman are in such turmoil. Those kids know how to play their cards.
Dianella then spotted the human's native ally, Owl, flying in his direction through the trees.
Time to send those humans a message. My time in the shadows is now over.
He moved behind a tree, waiting for Owl to fly closer.
I got this.
Okay, who wants to tag in?
I got this.
Ree wanted to read this little bit with Owl talking.
Okay.
All right, here you go, Ree.
Thanks. The old boat was flying
Casually.
The old boat was flying casually through Will's Pearl Valley dream, checking on the various flocks of Nighttopians inhabiting the area without nights to
good job.
Pesto him. It was rather boring. Not that Owl wouldn't admit it though. He let out a sigh.
Oh, it has certainly gotten quieter around here.
As if it had jinxed himself, Owl suddenly found himself pinned against the ground by a strong grip. Glowing blue eyes fix upon him.
Fixed, yep.
Cooperate, and you will be unharmed.
Startled, Owl's own eyes widened in fear.
What do you want?
What do I want? I want you to get those humans, especially the ones called Will and Helen, a message.
Diana leaned in for the Owl to heal. Better.
Tell them that their days here are numbered. If those delinquents know what's good for them, they will leave the Ninth Dimension and never return.
His eyes turned bloody red.
I was merciful today, but they better not underestimate me should we meet face to face in the future. The only reason why Will is not dead is because I was not assigned to be executioner.
The old bird quickly nodded his understanding. Once Diana releases him, the old bird flew off as quickly as his wings could take him. In truth, not understanding what was going on at all, but knowing that he has to tell the others as soon as possible. Dragons, you take over.
Okay. Dragon, if you want to read for a little bit before...
Okay. It's Darnell again, isn't it?
But
No,
Diana
it's
watches
the
him go.
narrator.
I
It
was doing
starts with- Okay.
no the beginning of the sentence.
Yeah, Dianella watched him
Yeah,
go.
it-
That's where we left off.
Okay. I just need to be sure.
Okay.
Dianella watched him go, carrying what he hoped would be a message that shook the criminals so badly as to cause them to either panic and error in their plan or turn from their unlawful ways. He didn't feel too comfortable about that last part, that rather dark bluff, but he couldn't afford to show weakness to such a crafty foe. He turned away and flew off towards the lake where he first met Riella. The glass-like water of the large lake rippled in his wake as he flew just above the straightened into the upright position, levitating in the middle of the lake, and looked around for Riella. There was no sign of him. Only the wind moved the exotic plant life that surrounded the lake.
Strange. Usually he's here earlier than I am.
Dianella
and
finally. Okay,
Who's taking
alright.
over from
Someone else take over.
Give me a bit, people. I need to take a break. Go.
All right, so we're right above the glass lake, the glass-like water of the lake.
It's Riella. Who's Riella?
I was meant to be Riella, but since Gold is
Yeah,
here,
but-
I'll let him.
No,
Hang
he's
on,
gone.
hang on.
But even then, we still have the line from Dianella before that.
I already said it.
Yeah, but
Punch.
I didn't say the narrator's line afterwards.
Okay.
We
there
can
you
redo
go.
that line.
Strange.
Alrighty.
Usually he is here earlier than I am.
Dianella finally uttered. He then pondered on what he should do.
You're rather early, Dianella.
Riella floated into the armored jester's view, having just arrived himself. Dianella nodded.
Yes. I have news that Lord Wiseman himself must hear about immediately.
I see.
Uttered the nightmare in general. After a few quiet moments, he looked to the metallic jester.
It is about time that you meet the Lord of this world. Come, I will lead you to him.
The two jesters flew to the opposite shore of the lake from where Dianella had come. Then, beyond it, the air became cold and only filled itself with empty silence. The sky of the world grew gradually darker, and the landscape disappeared into the dark ocean soon after. Even with all this, Dianella pressed on, following Riella into the horizon. The two arrived at what Riella called Wise Man's Castle. After following Riella through the maze of corridors, the general stopped him in front of a pair of large doors.
Lord Wiseman's throne room is just beyond. When you are inside, you must show the utmost respect. Do you understand me?
Dianella nodded.
I understand.
I'll take over.
Riella nodded back.
Riella nodded back, waiting outside as the middle jester entered. Okay, you take over, Tom. I just wanted to read that little line.
A wolf just snuck. A wolf just practically took the other wolf's comments.
I don't know this kid. Can someone throw her out?
If you're throwing me out, I'm taking my recording stuff.
Yeah, and don't make her call on Lance.
Fine. He found himself in a large throne room, if it could even be called a room. The ceiling and walls seemed so far away as to be the very sky and horizons themselves. Even the ground seemed to drop away far below him. The only defining features were weathered, floating columns defining the edge of the room, with what seemed like a small mountain peak? That's a strange spelling.
Yeah.
Penetrating through the floor in the center. Upon it were several warped lanterns lit with unnatural flames and a dark throne, comically dull and small compared to the golden medallion above the seat of stone. Rays of gold and crystalline light adorned the medallion's edges, stretching towards the non-existent walls and ceilings.
Welcome. You must be Dianella. I am Lord Wiseman.
A voice boomed from seemingly all around him. Lord Wiseman slowly rose into Dianella's view from the abyss, causing the severely dwarfed jester to look up in awe. One of the giant's 6 disembodied hands floated down towards him, his eye rock fixed upon him.
Your greatness.
Dianella greeted, bowing in respect, then rose back to an upright position.
Forgive my intrusion, sire, but I have come with good news that I believe you should know immediately. I have located knights. That is good news indeed, Dianella. Now tell me.
The hand watched him floated closer. Let me try that again. The hand watching him floated closer, the glow of the eye within the palm brightening.
Where is he now? If you could provide me with a reflective surface, I will show you exactly where he is, sire.
Replied Dianella. Without a word, another of Wiseman's hands floated down to him.
You may use the surface of my eye to reveal the location of the traitor.
Knowing not to question the Lord's instructions, Dianella flew up to the second hand and carefully waved his hand over the ever-staring eye. Instantly, the reflection on the eye shimmered and warped, obscuring the eye as it revealed what appeared to be a view of the waking world. They were in fact Dianella's memories, which settled to show a boy, a young teenager, who was pinned to a wall by one of Dianella's clawed hands, looking at the viewer in fear.
He is called August there, and he lives in the same city as 2 of those dreamers, Will and Helen. It was a stroke of luck that I even found him.
Dianella looked down, filled with disappointment and shame.
But I failed to capture him, due to the fact that Will and Helen became his friends, and protected him in a way I had not anticipated from humans. I apologize for this.
The eye of the first hand narrowed.
Do the dreamers know this?
Dianella looked back up to gaze at the giant floating before him.
I do not know for certain, sire, but as I reflect upon how they reacted to my ambush earlier, I assume they do not. August did not show any sign of recognition when I mentioned the night dimension in passing, which may likely mean that he does not remember anything at all.
Sorry. This may prove quite useful. Riella?
The ruler of Nightmare summoned his general. Riella flew in and quickly knelt into a bow before the First Eye.
You summoned me, Master Wiseman?
Dianella has located knights within the waking world. Dianella, inform Riella of your findings.
The armored jester obeyed, showing Riella the human that knights had become after falling into the dark ocean. He didn't say anything, but not only was Riella impressed that the metal jester had found knights so quickly, but he was also impressed that Wiseman allowed Dianella to use his powers upon one of his own soulless eyes.
Riella, once preparations have been completed, you are to find and retrieve the disguised knights.
Riella bowed his head in acknowledgement.
Yes, Master. I understand.
Dianella wondered to himself. He put it in the back of his mind as he watched Riella raise his head back up to gaze upon the much larger being. The metallic jester waved his hand carefully over the eye once more, this time returning the reflection to normal. The eye blinked once before slowly floating away. The First Eye, however, continued to stare down at them both, as if gazing into their very souls.
This time, we will not allow the visitors any chance in retrieving knights. Until then, away from my presence unless summoned.
As you command, Master.
Uttered Riella, bowing once more. Dianella followed his lead, also bowing. Both quickly left the chamber as the two travelled down the structurally warped hallways together. Riella spoke up.
I appreciate what you have done for us, Dianella. Your work has helped us greatly in our evidence. Soon, the night dimension will be safe once more for all visitors and inhabitants of this world.
I think you meant endeavors, Riella.
Well, looky who's basically here.
Hey, it's not my fault that I basically have trouble saying words. I never studied
Calm
these
down.
fancy words.
Alrighty, keep going.
Very
She managed to
well.
get as far as she could.
All of the doubts that Will had given Dianella vanished, sounding so trivial now. He turned to smile at Riella.
I just did what I thought was right, helping a new friend, and protecting your home from destruction. But what would you like me to do for now, Riella?
You're quite free to do what you want, my friend. Go observe the sordid humans, or do anything else you desire. However, when the time comes, I ask that you will assist me in apprehending knights.
I will, for I wish to see this mission through. In the meantime, I will continue watching the humans for any new developments.
Riella smiled, seemingly pleased that the metal jester agreed.
All right. Good luck to you.
You too, Riella. I look forward to our next meeting.
Dianella nodded to the red jester in farewell, then flew off. Riella's lips curled into a dark smile as he watched the metallic jester disappear.
Again, this is too easy. Victory will soon be ours. Thanks for our long-lost fool. It almost seems criminal to keep you blind to the truth, old friend. Almost.
Also, the word you skipped over, virginal, is a musical instrument of European origin around the 15th, 16th century as classified under the harpsichord family, of which it may be the oldest member. It is played like a piano, and unlike a harpsichord, spinet, or piano, its strings run nearly parallel to the keyboard.
Oh, I have heard of that.
Its name is how it was described as a pure, undisturbed sound with each note. Dragon was reading the line and refused to read it because she misinterpreted it as something else.
Well, there is the state of Virginia, which actually was, I think it was, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I would have to go back. It's been a while since I've been to geography and history, but I believe it was named after, you know what, I probably shouldn't say, but it's based off of the word virgin, which is pure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess it was a pure land back in the day.
I see.
Either way,
Again,
the
I
instrument
am
sounds
sorry
very
if I
pretty.
messed up.
No problem.
It's fine.
The
It's better than
virginal
the
is
last
very
take. I
pretty.
mean, I was
If I may
I was
ask,
narrating the same part, and I was practically coughing my lungs out at the part where the fire was breaking out.
Oh, that seemed fitting.
how ironic. Also,
Yeah.
do you think I did fine with Riala there? I didn't mess up on his vocals.
Yeah,
this year?
you did good. You did good.
Yeah.
Good, because honestly, I don't think it would have been easier to make my voice even go any lower.
So enjoy chapter 11 once more.
Yep.
Mhm.
And sorry for the numerous bloopers. I hope you enjoyed those.
Bloop, 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 so much bloop.
Are we underwater or something? Why are we getting an influx of bloopers?
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Oh,
No,
good.
no.
Where's
I
the
know what
fun?
that is. That's not water. It's octopi!
Damn it, Knights! Not the bloody octopus again!
Anyways,
Are
that
you
was
on, Helen?
anyways, that was chapter 11. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Red Clay 27.
This is Cat signing off.
Bye.